After 21 years at the BBC, which I hugely enjoyed, I felt it was time to get my own voice back. We are living through tumultuous and very important political times, and I'm a writer before a broadcaster, really, so I was looking for somewhere where I could write exactly as I wanted without feeling that there was someone's hand on my shoulder, as it were, directing me as to what I should say. And the New Statesman is a magazine I have read, enjoyed, and relied on all of my adult life, virtually every week. And it's been studied with some of the greatest writers on politics and culture I can think about. You know, you go right the way back to Shaw and H.G. Wells, and then later on George Orwell and Christopher Hitchens and Martin Amis, and you come up to modern times. You've got great recent writers like Helen Lewis, Ali Smith, and the current team, I have to say, full of really great writers. I'm not going to mention anyone because it'd be unfair to select people, be invidious and cause me problems later on, but they are super people to be working with, and I think they'll be great colleagues, and I can't think of a better place to be.
What will be some of the main trends that you'll be writing about this year?
Well, first of all, clearly, we're living through an extraordinary Conservative leadership crisis, which I think is going to go on for quite a long time yet, and even when it ends, is going to leave behind an utterly changed political landscape, changing the position of the opposition parties, the Labour Party in particular, and we don't know who the new leader might be or what kind of Conservatives are going to be stumbling out into the daylight again. But it's going to be really interesting and important for all of us. I am fascinated in terms of the bigger picture by the word security. We are facing a genuinely menacing Russia at the moment under Putin. There is a sort of old-fashioned missile gap. They've got better, faster, more accurate missiles than we've got for the next few years. And how we protect ourselves in the modern world, who our natural friends are. Are our natural friends, in fact, France and Germany, rather than the United States? All those questions are really important. The question as to whether the UK lasts for very much longer is one I'm going to be looking at a lot. I've got lots of contacts and friends in the SNP. I see the union from both sides. I understand why so many Scots look down at what's happening in London and want out, but I worry very much about what's going to happen to the incomes of working class Scots if there is a proper border between England and Scotland, as I think there would have to be if Scotland joins the EU. We don't know about what the currency there would be. There are so many big questions there, and Ireland. So it's future of the UK, it's security, it's levelling up in the sense of what's going to happen to the people who've had the worst outcomes in terms of education and income. That's a really important subject for me. But over all of that, over everything, is climate change. We are all going to have to change the way we live, the way we think, the way we do politics, the way we calculate profit and loss, looking at what's happening to the natural world. In all of those years at the BBC, I was perhaps more influenced by David Attenborough than by anybody else, and I'm going to carry that into the New Statesman.
What will a regular week look like for you? What will you be doing day to day?
I want to go back to my origins in London, which was, as it were, as a gumshoe reporter with a dog-eared notebook in my back pocket and some pens leaking out of my top pocket. I'm going to spend the week at Westminster. I'm going to be presenting a regular political magazine show for LBC. I'm going to be working out of Westminster day in, day out, talking to colleagues, talking to politicians, coffees, lunches, occasionally the odd drink perhaps, and trying to absorb information. So I'm going to be on the front line. But at the same time, having spent so long doing a BBC programme addressing, as it were, the world outside Westminster, I'm very keen that I won't be a bubble journalist. I want to keep a sense of perspective. That's really difficult. And so I hope towards the end of each week I'll be able to travel outside London. I want to be going to Scotland and to Ireland and to the north of England, the Midlands, and make sure that I'm in touch with what's going on in different parts of the UK, because the thinking is going to come from Manchester and Birmingham and Wales just as much as it's going to come from London.